What is going on, guys? Eric here from Bolts and Banter with another review video, and today we are taking a look at the ATOTO P8 On-Dash Navigator. Now, you might have seen my previous video of the P8 on-screen navigation, which I will post a link to above over here in a little card, and I'll also post a link in the description below. I reviewed that a couple weeks ago, and ATOTO was nice enough to send me their new P9 unit and asked me if I could quickly compare it to the existing P8 I have installed. And before we install the P9 unit in place of the P8 unit that you just saw, let's take a look at what's inside the P9 box. Again, the ATOTO box is super nice, kind of like an iPhone box. Very classy, if that matters to you. Get some foam. Here are the user manuals and the quick start guide. We'll take a look at that before powering on this unit. P9 unit itself, first impressions, it is significantly larger than the P8. Like, significantly larger. Might I say it might even be too big. Anyway, let's put that off to the side. All right, you get the mount for the P9 unit, and just like it shows on the box, it's designed to mount to the dashboard, so it looks kind of like an S-bend. I don't think it's designed to mount to the windshield. I think it's only for the dash, but we'll double check on that once we get everything going. We have the sticky dash pad and the ball mount for the P9 unit itself. And we have a couple of Ziploc bags, all of which hold fuse holders. So these are fuse taps, and they all come in different sizes. So there's red and yellow wire, so I'm guessing that the power for the P9 unit is not like the P8. The P8 just plugs into the cigarette lighter, and that's it for that big portion of the box. Got a bundle of wires here. It's looking like this is a voltage step down. Yeah, so the input, it's all in Chinese. There's the English. So it'll take up to 9 volts to 36 volts and then output 5 volts. So instead of the cigarette lighter or the power plug that you would plug into your dash, this needs to be hardwired, but I do want to take a look and see if there's any way to not hardwire it. Okay, that's a very important thing to note. So the P9 has to be hardwired, so there's power, accessory, and then ground. This is the same type of connector as the P8, so I'm actually going to see if the old P8 connector will work to power the P9, but if you are buying the P9, plan on installing these and connecting them to your fuse box underneath your dash. Last but not least, the Ziploc bag of installation accessories. We got the steering wheel remote control, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, 3.5mm jack, microphone for the Bluetooth, I'm presuming, zip ties, and some adhesive. When I got the P8 from ATOTO, it actually comes with a dash cam that you can connect. I've chosen not to keep that dash cam connected, but it is important to note that the P9 does not come with a dash cam, and you have to purchase that separately. Right out of the box, before installing anything, I like how ATOTO now includes a microphone. That was something that I had seen and tested out in the P8, where the microphone that was built into the unit was simply not good enough to use while driving. This car has quite a lot of road noise for it being a 1995 model year, and when I used the ATOTO microphone, the people that I was talking to on the phone didn't really hear me that well, so I would always have to switch over to AirPods. Now, the fumble between the Bluetooth on the ATOTO to the AirPods was a little bit annoying, so I'm glad that they do include a microphone now. Hopefully this will help audio quality and you can plug it in somewhere closer to where you're going to speak, so maybe on the headliner. That way it doesn't pick up as much road noise as a unit-mounted microphone. I really do like this steering wheel remote control. I did not mount my P8 remote control to the steering wheel itself. I thought that would be too clunky, so I actually mounted it onto my e-brake handle. If you don't have anywhere to use the rubber strap on, you have a sticky pad that comes in the package, so you can just stick that onto your dash. As I mentioned before, I'm going to try and see if the P9 can be powered by the P8 power adapter, but if you are installing this and you only have the P9 wiring to work with, just a note, if you're not comfortable trying to find fuses to tap into under your dashboard, just be aware that you're going to need someone's help in order to do that. It's very easy to do. Usually your fuse box lid has a diagram on which fuses to tap, and I'm sure there are YouTube videos out there to help you figure out what's a constant power and then a accessory 12 volt connection, as well as a corresponding place to add your ground wire. Once you have everything connected, it's pretty straightforward. The P9 is powered by this single plug right here, and it has both input and output capabilities. in comes the power and out comes USB data as well as the auxiliary out. All right, so I took some time to go through both the quick start guide as well as the manual. Definitely read the manual if you are new to ATOTO products, or even if you just need a quick little brush up. There's a bunch of important notes in here, including the way to install it using the suction mount, which it says you can use with a windshield. I don't think I'm going to be able to get an angle that works with this large of a screen and the angle of the windshield with this S adapter, so we're gonna have to wait and see on that. The cameras from the P8 don't work with the P9, so if you are upgrading from a P8 unit, you won't be able to reuse your dash cam. It also goes through how to find the wires depending on if you have a push start ignition or a regular keyed ignition, and there's a quick little guide here on how to use the fuse taps as well. It doesn't explicitly mention that I can't use the P8 power adapter with it, but it does go over the reason why it comes with the fast boot wiring harness. And essentially what this wiring harness does is it makes sure that your P9 unit will have power all the time, so that way once you go ahead and put your key in or press the start button, the P9 unit will boot in 2 seconds. That's really cool to see because the P8 unit took about 7 to 8 seconds to boot, and then another 7 to 8 seconds after that to have the wireless CarPlay connect to my phone. So I'm interested in giving this a try, but for now, just to quickly review the P9, I'll go ahead and try and use it with the P8 power adapter that's already installed into the car. Yeah, it's fine. There's no sign. Yeah, there's no meter, there's no sign either. Yeah, I went out of the car, I didn't get a ticket though. Okay, yeah, you're good. Now, I don't particularly know if this is gonna work, but let's give it a try. So just to mock it up, something like that. Okay, a couple of other mounting possibilities that we have. This is what it looks like in the photo on the box. Okay, if it mounts something like that, then I will need to use the provided sticky pad right here because there's a vent in the way. Not sure how that's gonna work. Ooh, it's gooey. So it would be something like that. And then something like that. Unfortunately, I don't like it. Even if we did use the sticky pad over there, I think it would just block the air vents. I don't really like how that's working. Although, honestly, if we did mount it like that, it could rest on this portion of the dashboard, and I lose visibility of the clock, and it's kind of hard to get the hazard button. Well, it looks like somebody pasted something from 2024 onto something from 1995. Okay, we're gonna think about this for a little bit, and then we are going to report back on my thoughts on what we should do with mounting this. Okay, so just an update on what I ended up doing. I actually like the P8 mount for the Civic dashboard instead of the P9 mount. The P9 mount probably works with more modern dashboards, but unfortunately there is a vent here in the middle, so we can't really use the sticky pad efficiently, and this kind of uses the dashboard as a support. So if I were to put that there, the unit would end up here, which is fine in terms of aesthetics, but I lose the air vent, and I'm actually recording in the sun today, and even that's kind of hot, so I would not be able to use the P9 comfortably when it gets even hotter outside. We're gonna ditch this mount. That's just something to note for ATOTO. Maybe offer a separate mount for sale, or I'm not sure. Perhaps this mount works with most dashboards. This car might just be too old to use that with. I haven't actually used the P9, which is a heavier unit than the P8, with the older P8 mount. I'm hoping it's gonna work. Before I go ahead and stick that onto the glass, just to show you guys what the difference is between the P8 and the P9. The P9 is absolutely massive, and it also has a glossy screen. It doesn't look like it's attracting fingerprints that much, but the older one has a a matte finish screen, an anti-glare type of thing. Before I go ahead and mount the unit onto the glass, just take a look at the back. It comes with a microphone input here that we talked about during the unboxing, a slot for the SD card, which will be needed if you are running a dash cam. That dash cam plugs in here and that's sold separately. It also has a SIM card, which is optional. That's cool. I guess you can now treat this as if it were to be an iPad and use your cellular data connection via that SIM card. And it also has an extra USB port for USB data. It's USB-C as well. An onboard speaker, which on the P8 wasn't that good, so let's see if it is better on the P9. And it has the light sensor here. The light sensor on the P8 was really good, looks to be the same one, so I'm expecting the same type of performance from the P9. It has that same mini DIN plug that the P8 has, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try, and let's do that live. It's a matter of plugging it in. There we go. Let's see if it powers up. And let's check for power before we go ahead and mount it to the glass. I've never plugged this in before, so this is the first startup just along with everyone else that's viewing. Looks really nice. Not timing it, but it's looking like the same amount of time to start it up as the P8. That's probably why they give you that quick start harness. Wow, this looks really nice. Definitely more modern look, so if you have a newer car, something from maybe 2010 and above, this would look right at home there and definitely update your dash. It looks a bit too new for a 90s car, but it's gonna unlock a lot of features, so I think that's a good trade-off. The menu looks more Android-ish compared to the P8. I did like how the P8 was kind of Apple-y, definitely very Android. I'm not an Android user, but so far it doesn't seem like it's terrible to navigate through. Okay, wow, this is huge. Let's go to settings real quick. Cool, that screen is massive. All right, let's mount this up and then let's go ahead and connect my phone and see what we can do with it. I'd say if you need reading glasses, this is probably the screen for you. I think the icons are simply too big. Maybe I'm just used to the size of the P8, but I do think the P8 was a great size. The screen is huge. I think if you wanted a big screen with this big of a font, this is definitely right up your alley. I don't think we need a screen this big. I also think that it takes a little bit away from the dashboard. Now I can't really see down that way, but I do like a clean, uncluttered dashboard, and this might be a little too over the top. But it does give you a lot of real estate. Screen resolution is really nice though, with that glossy screen finish to it. That is a very, very clear map. All right, so let's test out audio really quick. So we're gonna actually use the P9 in the same way that I use the P8. We're gonna use the audio output here, and then it goes into an auxiliary output. From there, I'm gonna use the easiest solution for the retrofit, which is a cassette adapter. One of the things that I noticed with the P8 was that you lose a lot of quality with the Bluetooth when you take the signal from, say, Spotify on your phone, then beam it to the P8 unit. Once it gets to the auxiliary out in the power adapter, you lose a little bit of bass. So what I ended up always doing was just using my iPhone directly connected to the stereo. Now, I don't know if they've improved that in the P9. We're gonna find out together. So let's go ahead and play a track and see what it sounds like. Okay, so right now it's outputting through the speaker.
Gentlemen, super hydration body wash, vanilla.
And I think that speaker is not really sufficient enough to play any kind of music. It's just for voice commands, for voice assist, also for turn-by-turn directions, but definitely not enough to play an audio track. There's no specific CarPlay icon anymore. On the P8, there was one for Android Auto and one for CarPlay. Now it's just mixed into one light blue icon. On the P8, it was really easy to figure out the audio output. It was just a little icon on the home screen. It's looking like that is not the same here. Okay, so we finally found the icon for that. We got to go all the way over here, find the audio icon, got it, and then change the setting as shown in the manual to that one with the wire. Heard a little click there, and hopefully that should work. So this remote that I have installed in the car for the P8 actually works with the P9. Which is a great time to mention that the link for this P9 will be in the description below. So if you'd like to purchase one of these and pull up next to me so I can control your volume with my remote, we could do that. I'm gonna set that pretty low so we don't blow any speakers. Okay, so just a quick little test there using the aux out from the P9 unit. It is not the best quality. Like I mentioned on my P8 review video, I think it will be good enough if you were listening to podcasts and audiobooks on Spotify, but if you're looking for more of a higher quality signal, you're not going to get that over the aux out plug on the P8 or even the P9 now, so I'm pretty sure that inside the P9 it's probably the same circuitry as the old P8. This unit also has the ability to connect to your OEM stereo if it is Bluetooth enabled. There is more info on that in the manual as well as in the product description in the link below. I'm using it with the aux exactly like I used on the P8, and as I mentioned, it's okay. I think I'm going to keep it that way, but if I do want to listen to music in the best quality that I can in this environment, I'm going to go ahead and just wire it directly using an adapter for my phone. I'm trying to use the Carbit Link app to get screen mirroring, and it keeps bringing up the error unknown or unsupported QR code. Not sure why. The app doesn't really get that good of a review on the App Store, so maybe it's more friendly on Android Auto, so I can't really test out the screen mirroring function there. Although, honestly, if you're in the market for a P9, I don't really know if you're going to be using screen mirroring so much so, or so much more than the actual CarPlay functionality. So let's go back to the CarPlay functionality and see what that looks like, and let's give some impressions after driving it around for a bit. Yeah, so I think if you are looking for a big screen with a very high resolution, the P9 is something to consider. If you are just looking for a basic wireless CarPlay setup, the P8 is still going to be very, very good for your vehicle. And as I mentioned in my previous video about the P8, you can add wireless CarPlay to any car very, very easily. I also think that because the P9 currently does not come with a cigarette lighter adapter, it's a little more difficult to install. You have to tap into 2 fuses in the fuse box and find a ground wire. If you're not willing to do that and you want a simple plug-and-play solution, you'll either have to wait for ATOTO's power adapter for the P9 to come out, which it says in the manual will come with a backup battery, so that way it has a fast boot function. But for now, you either have to hardwire it or wait. Everybody's vehicle is going to be different. I'd say the fact that the P9 comes with this mount instead of the more friendly P8 mount, and it also needs hardwiring, that would probably make it more difficult to install and take more time. So if you're in a rush and you just want to quickly add CarPlay to any car, definitely consider the P8. The Bluetooth audio that I tested on the P8 and the P9 are comparable, so no improvement there. But if you are looking for a big screen that has HDMI capability, the P9 is definitely something to consider. That's going to do it for this video. Shout out to ATOTO for sending over the P9 for us to test. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked this video and want to see more car audio, car product reviews on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, I am Eric from Bolts and Banter. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Hey Siri, where is the nearest Home Depot?
One option I see is the Home Depot on Maurice Avenue in New York. It adds 2 minutes to your route. Does that one sound good?
Yes.
Perfect. I can call that location or get directions. Which would you like?
Get directions.
Getting directions to the Home Depot.